bringing you the latest news from Frenship Athletics. This is the Tiger Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the High School Fan Zone on a Wednesday night. I am Randy Rosetta. This is 100.7 The Score. We're going to jump on the phone here with Frenship boys basketball coach Paul Page. Are you there, my friend?
I'm here.
I'm there getting done with getting all fancy and getting your pretty pictures taken tonight.
We did. We finished 3 minutes ago.
My guy Zach Tiarina puts you through some paces when he comes out.
He does. It's longer than practice, I'll tell you that. But it's good.
Was he a player when he was at Frenship, or did you know him back then?
I did not. He's got gray hair, so I'm not that old. I mean, come on now. Well, I am pretty old. I'm pretty old.
No, you still have a few years to go before you get to be called. So
I got kids I coach that are bald now, so that doesn't really mean anything.
No, some of them by choice. I don't know if I've ever asked you if that's by choice, but I probably better not do that on air. I don't need to get the heart rate going higher.
Right. I'm calm right now, so let's keep it that way.
Those pictures will keep you calm. Your Tigers, your team is 4-10, and to me that's already a little bit deceiving because you've started to figure it out a little bit. I could tell just from the stuff you sent me from the tournament that you were already feeling like you guys had started to. You may not have turned the corner, but you've approached it at least. What did you like about what you guys did in the tournament that you just got back from?
Well, and I think last time we talked about just how not having Maddox Archibald early on hurt us because of just the dominoes of our positionings, and so getting him back and now having a true an inside threat and an inside presence and on the boards, and then just and it helps offensively as we get paint touches, and so he's definitely changed our game a little bit, inside and out, and so we were able to utilize him a lot more this weekend. He had in one game he had 19 points and 11 rebounds, so definitely helps on both ends to be able to utilize him. So that just kind of feeds everything else when we have that kind of that pivot guy that we can lean on, and so that's kind of changed our identity, and so we were able to use that this weekend to pressure teams a little bit more than we have been because we didn't really have that rim protector that we do with Maddox. So, yeah, we really started to turn the corner this weekend. Good wins for us and battled with a couple of losses. And so we definitely felt like we were a lot better coming out of the weekend than we were going into it.
You mentioned the rim protector, but also your other guys are going to get rebounds because of the way you coach them, but also having a 6'4", 6'5" guy helps you on defensive rebounds, which triggers what you guys like to do as well.
It does. Offensively is key. Our defensive rebounds are key for us when it comes to starting or igniting our offense. We always talk about our offense starts with a defensive rebound, and so we weren't. Before Maddox was back, we were not getting clean rebounds at all. It was a battle for rebounds. We had guards having to rebound every possession. So now we're able to get cleaner rebounds, which helps us really start our offense and get out in transition.
For those who are not basketball nerds like you and I, explain clean rebound.
Definitely, one of those that you can kind of secure without any people, not people around, but just having to battle for it, and with Maddox being able to go up and elevate at a different level and pull those rebounds, it really helps us to, there's no interference for us when we get those clean rebounds like that.
And what comes to mind immediately is I'm going to guess that Hayden Wilson gets a few rebounds for a kid is he 6 feet?
Barely,
That's what I thought, but I bet he gets his share of rebounds just because he's so hard-nosed, but the difference is him going in to get a rebound against a 6'5" or 6'6" guy, he's got to bat it and find a way to get it, kind of like a dog chasing a bone, whereas if you're 6'4" or 6'5", you've got God's giving you the ability to stand there and grab it and get rid of it. So that's when you said that last week, I thought that was very interesting because that does change things. You guys you've had some height the last few years, but you've never had – trying to think if there's been a time when you've had 2 or 3 or 6'6" guys. You really haven't.
Right, and of course we really have to rebound by committee, but it really changes the game when you've got an opportunity to get out and especially when we struggle offensively right now. So obviously we want to get out and transition, try to create some easier opportunities for us.
Yep, easy things are nice to have. Tigers are not in the Caprock. They go to the, what's it called? You sent me the
championship basketball tournament.
Used to be the Whataburger. My father-in-law used to take teams out there. And they don't wade into the shallow water at that event either. They take on Birdville, which is ranked number 6 in Class 5A right now. So that is on Monday the 29th. Coming up on a break, we'll talk more with Paul Page after the break on 100.7 Score in the Tiger Fan Zone.
Diving headfirst into Frenship Athletics. You're listening to the Tiger Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back into the Tiger Fan Zone on a Wednesday night. One more reminder, this is the last show of the calendar year. We'll take the next 2 weeks off, come back January 5th and 7th, I think it is. Yep, 5th and 7th. We take that first week off for Christmas and then second week off so some of us can focus on basketball at the Caprock. Paul Page will not be at the Caprock, neither will our next guest. They'll be headed up to scenic New Mexico for a break. I don't know if you'll be able to hear Paul, but jump in there, Will. Say hello to
Paul. How you doing?
Will.
You guys don't play each other this year. You're not scheduled to, correct?
Nah, he's been beating me too bad, so I have to get away from him.
What did you tell me about scheduling this year, Paul? You told me
I guess our schedule was based on who we are. Now, I don't remember what happened.
We are. You're a little bit different this year, but getting better. And I'll say it again. Whenever people ask me about Frenship, I'll say, "What's the matter with them? Why are they so bad?" And my stock answer is just give it some time. They're got to kind of figure out who they are. Did last weekend give you an idea of who this team can be?
Right. Now, we played some really good teams last weekend in Cedar Hill, so but not as good as I guess the West Plains team that we saw last night, size-wise. But definitely, it made us better. That's why we go to Cedar Hill. Different athlete there. So we got to play some athletic teams and get up and down the floor. And so, we started to find out who we were last weekend.
And to me, this is a sign of where you guys are headed to. At least 2 of the games came right down to the wire, correct?
Right, yeah. We won 1 at the buzzer and then lost 1 right at the end against a really good Dallas Pinkston team. So felt good about that, too. We had really guys step up and fulfill some roles that we've been missing, and so definitely kind of turn the corner with those 4 games there in Cedar Hill.
Well, because if you're struggling, whether you're struggling or not struggling, I think close games will put a little bit of hair on your chest. They get guys to understand what you've got to do in those situations. And I've talked about Hayden Wilson. We'll probably talk about Hayden Wilson every time you come on here, just because I've enjoyed watching that kid in 2 sports. He hit the game-winning shot, and that gives his other teammates, they know now, okay, if it's crunch time, we want to get that ball into number 1's hands.
Right. Well, number 1 usually has the ball in his hands.
That's true.
So, get out of the way. No, but it's a deal where Hayden, he wants that, and the guys understand he's paid his dues, and he's been here 3-year guy for us, and has been a part of some special things. So they understand he has some skins on the wall and definitely wants success for the Tigers. So, they respect that. And it was exciting for him when he made that shot.
We've talked about him and Maddox, and last week you touched on a couple of your other guys that have kind of started to find their roles. Who were some of those guys that did that a little bit more this last weekend?
Landon Epperson, he had a couple of really good games. He's a shooter for us, and really has a quick trigger, and if he goes up, it has a chance to go in. And so he was able to find himself in a couple of games. He had 5 threes against the Pinkston team, and really was a huge difference in the game there. And just excited about what he's doing. Caden Fulcher is playing our 4, who kind of played our 5 early because we were just shorthanded, and now that's a more natural position for him, and he's able to make perimeter shots, but also he's really good with his back to the basket. So we're able to kind of take advantage of his inside ability as well as his perimeter game. So those two have really stepped up. Devin Linder, another shooter for us, is playing the 2 guard. He's really been consistent for us, and really kind of ready for him to come on here as we kind of move toward the middle of the season.
You guys aren't necessarily, you've had really good shooters the last several years. You don't necessarily, your system is not necessarily built on hitting a bunch of 3-pointers, but that sure doesn't hurt. That's a nice tool to have in the toolbox.
Right. Well, we want to play fast, and part of that is getting shots up, and so that we can kind of control tempo. And, when the ball goes in, we get the press. And when we get the press, we get to control tempo. And so that's kind of what we feel like we, want to shoot the ball as much as we can so that we can control that tempo.
You're starting to sound a lot like Billy Tubbs.
Right. Shoot it before we lose it.
Someday I'm going to tell you my story about Billy Tubbs when I was in college, when he about created a riot at Allen Fieldhouse by trying to cut the nets down there. But
there you go.
He had a little bit of success. So if you're going to base your system on anybody, that's not a bad guy to have. You guys have who on Friday?
We go to Estacada on Friday. Should be another good one for us. We're excited about that to finish out this first half of the season.
And he's got his guys playing well now. That should be entertaining. We'll talk to you probably after that, and then we'll talk to you again after Christmas. Thanks for coming on.
Sounds good. Thanks, Randy. Merry Christmas.
You too. We'll be back after this break in the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.